What's going on, guys? Texans fan of rehab here, man. We got to cover this Texans win that we had over the Denver Broncos, man. What a great victory. What a great game, man. Oh, man. Texans won 22-17. A spectacular game, man. Although it wasn't smooth all the way through, of course, we had some ups and some huge downs, man. So let's get right into it, man. Texans went out there and took it to the Broncos. Had a wonderful first half. Second half was compounded with a lot of struggle and injuries and all kind of stuff, man. Just a lot of stuff going on in the game, man. Let's first start with C.J. Stroud, man. C.J. was out here performing well this week. Didn't have the statistical acumen that he's been having lately, but he still had a solid game, 274 yards, man. A lot of great completions. Definitely was able to throw some killer passes, man, just like he's always done all season long, man. But let's get into what we saw out there on the field was just basically an immaculate first half where the Texans were out there dominating, man. They took it to the Broncos, man. They were up 16 points. Things were looking great, and then things just started to kind of shut down in the second half. The production started to swing. The momentum actually started to swing in the direction of the Denver Broncos, and that was really kind of tough to see, man. As a fan who actually showed up at the game, kind of, on a humbug, it was hard to watch, man, because the Texans, they get into these lulls from time to time, man, where they I guess they outthink themselves. And so one of the things that was going on in this game, this was more of a defensive struggle against Russell Wilson's offense, and so you got to see Russell Wilson attack the coverage deep a lot. I heard someone mention that the Broncos have kind of a game plan that, it focuses on going deep and going short. Deep and short. Not a whole lot of intermediate type of action. And so that's exactly what you saw happen. There was a lot of deep attacks early and often with Courtland Sutton attacking the secondary. He didn't get away with anything until late in the second half. When then he started to connect on some deep passes, and then once that happened, all of a sudden the Broncos had some life, man. And so that was kind of hard to see, but in the end, it all worked out, man. We got to see Derek Stingley step up, man. He got to, this is the third week in a row he's had an interception. He had 2 this week, and so it was dope to see him step up and basically show his wares as a third pick in the draft. But the 2 interceptions that he had different stories to him, in the words of a former quarterback that we used to have. The first interception was a tip pass from, thankfully, Will Anderson tipped the pass. And then the second interception was a nice deep route interception where they baited Courtland Sutton, or they baited Russell Wilson on a deep route that looked like Courtland Sutton had beat Jalen Petrie, and Jalen Petrie had bit on the look, and Courtland Sutton went deep on the inside route, or I don't know I can't think what the route is, the combination is right now, but Stingley basically ran the deep route with him on the outside to kind of come over his back, come over the backside and intercept the ball in front of him. So it was a deep route that was basically undercut. That's what I need to say right there. Oh, man. Yeah, but it was a great game, man. It was great to see the defense step up. Will Anderson had a game of his life, man. He had two sacks. He had a couple pressures on the quarterback beyond that. He had the tip pass. He had a punt that he grazed, so I guess that's technically a punt block or whatever. Man, he was well represented out there in the field, and of course causing a lot of chaos, doing a lot of things in the run game to stop the run. I gotta say this, man, like our run offense is still looking like they're struggling, man. They're having a hard time out there. And I know I'm kind of jumping around with the game plan coverage, but our offense is really struggling with this run game concept. And so Dameon Pierce had 15 carries for 41 yards. That's not very productive at all. That's 2.7 carry. Devin Singletary, 8 carries for 36 yards. And I know within the game flow, these statistics don't really stack up very much. But these guys got to get more quantitative effect when it comes to their reps and the amount of yardage per carry. Now, Devin Singletary is actually doing pretty good, but he's not getting the favor that Dameon Pierce is. So it's obvious that they're still trying to stick with Dameon Pierce, even though Devin Singletary has been more productive. Let's go ahead and talk about it, man. It was tough to see. It was tough to see Tank Dell go down with the broken ankle. I'm sorry, the broken leg. That was hard to see. I was up in the stands, man, and I saw him going into the game in that goal line formation. He was the outside receiver on the formation, and I think Nico Collins was the inside receiver. And then because of how they were picking up the coverage to block the cornerbacks and the safeties on that line, the goal line stands, even though it was an inside draw play, he slid on the inside behind Nico Collins and went up to basically block the only other defensive back that had an opportunity to make the play. And it was a hell of a hustle effort by the little guy, man. Like, it was very intelligent and intuitive, but because he went in that direction, he got in, wrapped up in the pile. Guy came down on the back of his leg, and terrible things happen inside the pile, especially if you're a smaller guy. And I know that a lot of people are saying, well, why is he inside? Why is he in this position or whatever? Why is he at risk of getting his leg, landed on? I get that, but it could happen to anybody. It could have been a running back, tight end, Nico Collins, Robert Wood. It could have been anybody. So unfortunately, it was Tank, and that was a tough one, man. I know the guys in the organization are trying to be optimistic and believe that he may have some supernatural healing, and with the surgery going well and all, he could be back by Super Bowl. But let's be real, we're being very, very optimistic. His season is more than likely done. It was a hell of a season. You know what I'm saying? Like we got a 3rd round pick, and he's done phenomenal things for the Texans, man. Set all kind of rookie records and things. So, salute to you, Tank Dell, man. This has been an awesome season to watch you play and perform. We definitely look forward to seeing what you're gonna do moving forward, man. And rest up easy, man. Heal well, and when you are ready, we are ready to cheer you on again, man. So salute again to you, Tank Dell, man. But the game plan this week was actually pretty good in the first half, at least. I would have loved to see things continue to go as far as like we've seen some things happen as far as on the 3rd down plays where it'll be a 3rd and 1, 3rd and short, something like that, and we go for some longer plays. We actually had opportunity to see something similar to that where there was a toss play to, not a toss play, there was a rollout to the left, and we were throwing to Andrew Beck, and CJ just missed him a little high. But it wasn't a bad play, all things considered. It was a 3rd and 1. Andrew Beck was open. It just didn't connect. And so it wasn't like it was a deep route. We've seen in the past that there's been times where there's a 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and then we go deep. I think that that's not a bad play on a 3rd down when you're trying to, you got the lead, a pretty good lead, and you're trying to apply pressure. But, if it's anywhere close in the game score, and you maybe don't have the great field position to get a field goal out of it, then you got to continue to keep pressing forward to try to get points. So you got to go get that 1 yard. We've got to be a team that becomes battle tested, like Philadelphia, for example, where they have the tush push and they got the concept that they know that they're going to get that 1 yard every time. So hopefully we can get to that point, but obviously with the running game being what it is, it's not showing that we can get that 1 yard for sure. But they did a lot better this week than they have in weeks in the past. I did want to cover one more thing when it came to the offense, and that's the fact that the wide receivers were not showing up. So Nico Collins had a phenomenal game. 9 catches, 191 yards and a touchdown, right? That's fantastic. We're not going to knock that. Put that, put a button in there and put it to the side. All right. Where were the rest of the wide receivers, man? I mean, outside of Nico Collins, we had Brevin Jordan had 3 catches for 64 yards. But literally nobody else had above 1 catch. John Mechie is the only other real wide receiver with a catch. I mean, we had Dare, we had Andrew Beck, we had an Eric Super sighting. I don't even know who this cat is. But Devin Singletary, but Noah Brown, Bobby Trees, neither one of them had a catch to show. So they spent a whole lot of time getting cardio out there, which is awesome. But, like, come on, man. When we have a wide receiver to go down, Tank Dell didn't, put up any statistics either. He unfortunately didn't have the opportunity to. But when we have, one receiver down, we have, 3 other receivers that have to step up, technically 4 other receivers that have to step up. One receiver stepped up in the mix. And so that was unfortunate to see, but I think that will get corrected moving forward. Hopefully, it's got to be corrected moving forward because Tank Dell is definitely a big hole to fill in the offense. So I look forward to seeing what they're going to come up with this week against the Jets. This Jets offense sucks. Let's just say it that way, be real. They have some dude named Boyle, whatever his name is, not going to be here.
Not going to work here anymore anyway.
Guys just filling in for Aaron Rodgers, man, and they look terrible as an offense, but their defense is still good. So we have to consider that the fact that this is more than likely considered a trap game. Now, I don't think that they'll take it as a trap game, considering that Tank Dell is out, and you got to overcome that big loss of a person on the team. So it's going to be interesting to see what the game plan is that Bobby is going to come up with to offset the loss of Tank Dell. I think that they're going to lean more heavily on Nico Collins, of course, is going to get, Sauce Gardner. But I think they're going to lean more heavily on Noah Brown. And I think that this is going to inspire these guys that have been injured to come back and start playing through those injuries. So you're going to see Dalton Schultz come back. You're going to see, these guys step up and try to contribute more to the offense, basically, and help CJ, spread the ball around a little bit more than what they did this past week. But huge shout out. We finally had a game where we had our defensive backs all in place. So I want to give the biggest shout out to my boy Jimmy Ward, man. Oh, man, it's great to have you back, man. And it showed, man, because he was able to close out the game with the tremendous INT. So they were able to get 3 picks out of Russell Wilson, and that was just, outstanding, man. But the biggest one of all, because what was crazy to me in that second half was watching how many times the Russell Wilson-led offense would convert those third downs. It would be 3rd and 2, 3rd and 8, whatever, and they would convert those third downs. And so, that last 2-minute drive seemed like it was 17 minutes. It was just crazy to watch how they were converting. So when you finally got that one little pressure on Russell Wilson and you made him roll out the backside, he saw that quick flash of his tight end on the corner of the end zone. He thought that he could hit him, and then Jimmy Ward comes and slide over and just snatches the ball. Oh, man, it was great to see. Being up in the stands, I was with a lot of fans that we were all going through that same struggle, that same anxiety. And, after every single play that they would fail, you're sitting there breathing like, you know what I'm saying? But it was dope to see. And, man, I just look forward to seeing what this defense is going to put together moving forward, man. This is an exciting time. We're 7-5. I didn't think that we would be at 7-5 like this, especially considering that we lost the first 2 games of the season. Now we are sitting here in a situation where technically we're like 7-3 after the first 2 games have been accounted for or whatever. So that kind of gives you a reflection of how competent the team is in that capacity. You had a couple games for CJ to kind of get acclimated to, the rookie speed and all of that stuff. But then after that, he's got it, man. So this is an exciting time, man. I think I only had them predicted to get 7 wins this year. I think obviously looking at the remainder of the slate, it's a good chance that they can get to double digits, to be honest with you. We have Tennessee twice. We have Cleveland. We have the Jets. And I'm missing somebody. It'll come to me later, I'm sure. But, we have 5 games remaining. And man, the sky's the limit as far as this is concerned. Now, can we get into the playoffs? We'll need a little help. And apparently we got a little help because Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback was injured this week. We don't know the extent of what that injury is. It could be anything from a sprained ankle that he could pop back from, or it could be anything to a broken ankle. Who knows? But until we can kind of see what Jacksonville is going to put out there, Jacksonville is still ahead of us, and technically at this point right now, Indy is still ahead of us. Indy, that's the other team. We still got to match up with them. Gardner Minshew is the quarterback, of course. Gardner Minshew is he's on fire right now. So it's going to be interesting to see what that game is going to look like against Indy as well. But to have these 3 conference games remaining gives us a huge piece of leverage to try to get into the playoffs. And I mean, this is amazing that year one we're talking playoffs, right? This is crazy. But shout out to D'Amico Ryans, Coach of the Year. Shout out to C.J. Stroud, Rookie of the Year, potentially MVP. He's got the most passing yards across anybody in the league. And, I've been saying in weeks past that, Sam Howell had the most passing yards simply because he hadn't had a bye week, and he's got his bye week this week. So now CJ has a chance to kind of elevate even beyond that, even though he's got Tua nipping at his heels with that high-powered offense. So it's going to be dope to kind of see how everything plays out, man. I definitely look forward to it. I got my prediction coming soon. I look forward to seeing what's going to be I'm not going to give anything away, but I look forward to seeing what this matchup is going to look like with the Jets, especially once they figure out who's playing quarterback and and how that thing's going to go. Definitely going to expect to see a lot of running in that game. So, yeah, man, Texans, man, Texas fans, how y'all feeling right now, man? This is an exciting time. I don't really have any more words for it, man. It's just, we're playing with house money at this point. So, what I'm saying? Everything is up. It's pretty dope. I just don't want anybody else to get injured, man. We've suffered through enough injuries already. I cringe every time I see somebody get injured, man. So, like as long as we're playing with house money, we're good. But, y'all give me some feedback, man. Tell me how you feel, man. Of course, subscribe, follow me on my other social media accounts. I have Twitter, TikTok, or X, TikTok, IG, you name it. I'm out there. All of them under Texans Fan and Rehab, man. So I look forward to seeing and interacting with you guys soon, man. Until then, Texans Fan and Rehab, I'm out.